What's good? What's good? I'm back. One and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And we're waiting on a guest. Shouts out to my man Doug Coltrane. Tune in on Instagram. Congratulations on the win, my North Carolina brethren. Once again, it's fight week again this week. You got weigh-ins for BKFC Denver later today, if I'm not mistaken. And you got the fight is actually tomorrow. Yeah. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Kamosi versus Esteban Rodriguez is the main event. Can't wait to see that co-main event. Ramiro Figueroa versus El Bandito Brito. Got Josh Copeland versus Corey Willis. Go check out the interview I did recently with Corey Willis. And Andrew Yates versus Rodney Hitton. That's an interesting one. Let's see what the free fights are. You got Ruben Arroyo starts it off versus Matt Meistis. Shouts out to my man Anthony Yost fighting against Angelo Trujillo. And shouts out to Octavian Smash Turner fighting Joby Steffensmeyer. And some other fights as well. It's going to be an interesting fight card. Definitely can't wait to see the main event, man. That's going to be a game changer, whoever wins this one. Definitely going to be a game changer. Shouts out to one tough boxer, Keith Richardson. Appreciate you. He will be fighting his soon at BKFC 89 Palm Desert. Herring versus Manis. Go check out the interview I just did with Nate the other day. And of course, you got Keith is fighting Devin Schwan, who's 1-0 cruiserweight division. So that's going to be interesting. And there's some nice little fights on this one as well. Brian Peterson, Daniel Alvarez is on that card. David Diaz. Jomi Escoboza is 10-2 right now. Cody Vital as well. Let's check in on our guest. Make sure she's good. Hope everybody's doing good out there. The weather's kind of hot out here in the North Carolinas. It's definitely crazy. Definitely crazy hot. Let's see. Why am I not seeing the message I sent her? Okay, and why am I not seeing my messages? Okay. I don't know. It's not letting me send a message. What's going on here? Not let me send a message. Okay. Waiting on our guests for a second. Let's see who just hit the like button. True Raw, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody tuning in on Facebook right now. Make sure y'all give me that like, give me that comment. If you ain't following, make sure you follow. Hope she ain't get the times mixed up. What's the topic? The topic is I'm waiting on a guest right now. Is the topic. Shouts out to Wanda Tony. Appreciate you. Oh damn, I didn't know they do my little comments the long way now. Okay, that's what's up. Look like my StreamYard done changed my layout a little bit. See what else we still. Oh yeah, and freaking. So tomorrow you got BKFC 88 Denver. You got BKFC Fight Night in Australia. Literally the next day on the 18th on Saturday. Like back-to-back events in 2 different countries, man. It's crazy. That is crazy. How well of an oil machine you gotta have to do 2 fight cards, one on April 17th in Denver and one on April 18th in BKFC Fight Night Australia, which is Heppy versus I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. Wisniewski. I know I butchered that. Wisniewski, I think is the name. Which Wisniewski won the last fight, so who's no telling how that's gonna go. And then right after that, you got BKFC Fight Night Clearwater, which is now Gaskins versus Guyman in the main event. But I still think it's crazy that when Jared Warren and the other fight kind of like didn't go through because of some issues with visas and injuries, if I'm not mistaken. I do feel like the Ryan Reber fight should have been moved up to the main event, and this one probably should have been a main event. Up. All right, so we got our guest. Before we introduce the guest, I want to play this little clip so y'all kind of get a little idea of who she is. Let's get into it. Then we're going to introduce her and bring her on.
Primary care physician, Dr. Sarah Schell, the Hippocratic Oath most definitely waived for this BKFC bout versus the Peruvian Lady Mejia. Round number 2. Long on the jab. Schell on the right hand, left hook. Schell right to the inside, now left right to the body from Mejia. Mejia again, tipping her head to do that, get to the inside. Coming from Mejia, Brendan Fonensteel keeping this fight moving. Bait from Schell with the right hand. And Mejia.
All right, let's introduce our guest. She's undefeated in bare knuckle, 3-0, the number 1 ranked bare knuckle strawweight in the world, the one and only Sarah TNT Schell. Let's bring on Sarah. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you in the doctor's uniform right now.
Yeah, and I'm at the clinic. I do most of my podcasts or interviews at the clinic. The rest of my life is really busy with kids, and so this is my quiet place anytime I can do interviews or work.
So let's start here. What came first for you? Was it the doctoring or the fighting?
It was the fighting. It was the fighting that came first. And in fact, that was in 2010 that I had my first fight, and I was in business school. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was just in business school. But once I discovered fighting, and I discovered it was bigger in the States. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I immediately, got a student visa in the States because I saw that, there were more women competing in the States. There were a lot of 115-pound women in the States. I moved to America to start a whole different program. I started a science program when I moved to America and ultimately chose the program to become a doctor so that I could stay in the States the longest and continue fighting.
Now, what kind of doctor are you?
I'm a primary care physician. So I'm the frontline provider for, any condition that you have from the start. And, a lot of us will refer out to different specialists, but I'm very integrative. So, I can manage, treat, diagnose any condition. And for a lot of my patients, instead of referring out, I'm really a one-stop shop. I can really treat and manage, some of the most complicated illnesses.
That's what's up. And did I see something? Do you deal with something like natural remedies or something like that at all?
So I'm very integrative. So I'm a primary care physician. So I follow conventional standards. So I do imaging, like x-rays, imaging, prescriptions, I get my patients to regular mammograms and refer out for colonoscopies and exams like that. But I'm very integrative.
Give me 1 second, please. My dog just knocked over my light.
Oh no, you're okay.
Oh man, I'm gonna whoop your butt. Oh man, she is messing with me today.
You're good. I got 3 big dogs.
This is the second time she's done did this. She likes to be right under me when I'm podcasting.
They like to be close to you.
Yeah, I can't even go out the backyard at all, and she just like trips out. Sorry about that. So,
no,
you did some MMA.
Yep.
Tell us about your experience in MMA.
Yeah, my background is MMA. That's how I started. Gosh, I had about 18 or so MMA fights. I think about 18 MMA fights, 3 that are pro, and about 15 amateur MMA fights. And gosh, for my undergrad, I was fighting probably every 2 to 3 months. So I was very active. When I first started, and when I had my first MMA fight, I didn't have any experience. I was asked to fight 12 days before that, and I had no experience fighting. I worked in a nutrition store, so I came across a fight manager, and he was looking for a fight, and I just ended up saying that I'm athletic and tough. And 12 days later, I was fighting on TV on the Fight Network in front of 1,200 people in the crowd, and yeah, I had no idea how big it was, but I was just down to have the challenge, and I literally had no fight training at all. My first fight, it went to the ground, and I had I knocked the lady down, and I had no idea what to do. Like, I didn't know how to get on top, how to grapple. So my the person in the corner who I just met 12 days earlier. He's like, stand up, keep it standing. So yeah, I was really just thrown into it, and I love competing, and yeah, I just always stuck with it, and I've loved it the same ever since.
So I seen you competed in National Physique Committee competitions. Do you still do that?
Yeah, you know what? I haven't for about a year and a half or 2 years now, and the reason being is because I really buckled down with BKFC. Like, I've been ready in fight shape and training, and when I fight at 115 pounds, I get really skinny. I get really skinny when I fight at 115. And so it's at the level that I'm at NPC bikini competitions, I need to keep a lot of muscle on me. And so I've just been really focused on fighting, but I'm looking for my opportunity to get back in there for the NPC bikini competitions. Eventually I'd like to win my pro card, but a lot of the professional IFBB, bikini and bodybuilders, they're not natural. And, right now, like, I'm a natural athlete. I've always been a natural athlete, and I have no, intentions or drive to be in a competition where where it's not as fair if I'm natural. So, with bodybuilding, it's a different level, and yeah, so that's why I've kind of taken a step back. I've gotten to as high as I can get naturally.
Yeah, you look extremely well fit. I mean, you got the 6-pack and all going over there, so.
Yeah. And all I say is it's consistency. It's consistency.
Yeah.
I've been through periods where, I haven't had abs. I have 3 kids, and each time I was up to about 200 pounds. So I was a big mama. But it's consistency. I work out every day, and I've always been like that. Ever since I started working out when I was 18, 19 years old. So about 20 years of just consistency.
So you're doing MMA. I'm guessing bare knuckle came to you for fighting in bare knuckle.
Yep. No, I had taken a bit of a break for medical school, and then I had 3 kids, and I was looking back to getting into MMA, and bare knuckle came to me with an opportunity in Omaha, which is where I did my undergrad and built up my MMA fight kind of a career. So yeah, I was happy to go home, and I've always been a striker. Like I said, my very first fight, I didn't know what to do on the ground, and ever since that first fight, I never really even trained the ground. I never naturally liked the ground. Like, I've done a lot of grappling tournaments, and I'm very good at it, but it's not my passion. I love to stand. I love Muay Thai. I trained at a Muay Thai gym for most of my career growing up, but yeah, I love to stand and bang, and I should have been in boxing long ago, but sometimes with patience, the right opportunity comes, and that's what I see BKFC as, a very good opportunity, and I love BKFC. I'm definitely loyal and here to stay with BKFC until I retire.
Yeah, and I think the ground aspect of MMA is why I don't really like MMA and why it can tend to be boring to me.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. You know, it can be exciting. But for me, I'm a very active fighter with my punches, and I do a lot of damage. And so, there were some decision fights where my opponent was just like black and blue, like alien face, and it's like, oh, I didn't win, and it's like, how did I not win? But I understand the rules. Sometimes when you're holding someone down, you get more points in MMA. But I've had many decision losses where my opponent certainly looked like the one who lost. So I don't
Yeah,
stand out.
that's crazy to me because that reminds me of like the Julian Lane fight. Like they showed a thing where Dustin Page looked like the guy off of the Goonies, the Baby Ruth. And,
Yeah.
and Julian Lane didn't have a scratch on him and he lost the fight. I'm like, how can you lose? Say this guy lost the fight. The other guy looks like the dude from the Goonies. Another guy barely got a scratch.
Yep. So yeah, that's my experience. Sometimes in stand up fights or MMA fights, and in stand up fights as well too. Even in Muay Thai, I've lost Muay Thai fights where they did a couple kicks, and kicks are worth a lot of points. But they did a couple kicks, but their face is just like messed up, and I'm looking all pretty, but I still lose. But that's the fight game, and I love the challenge. I love the highs and the lows. I'm never down on myself if I lose. I do not care about the outcome. I'm unattached to the outcome. I'm just there for the challenge, and I love fighting. Like it's in my soul. I love to do it. So I'm very dangerous because I'm just out there having fun.
Were you nervous in your first BKFC fight?
No, you know what? And I always say this as well too. Ever since my very first fight, it's been my comfort zone. That's how I know that fighting is just meant for me. And I always say this as well too. For NPC bikini competitions, I'm so nervous. I have a coach backstage. She's got like a towel. She's fanning me down because I just get so sweaty and nervous. I feel out of place in the makeup and the hair and the heels and the posing. But when I'm fighting, I have no nerves, no anxiety. I know my purpose and I feel like I belong. And it's always been like that since day one. Even when I transitioned to BKFC, I've just always felt comfortable fighting.
So let's get into something very, very important. So, I mean, you're the number one ranked strawweight. You've recently been called out Britain Hart. What made you feel like now is the time?
Yeah, you know what? I've been number one for about 1 to 2 years. I've moved up to the top ranking very fast, just from knocking down all of my opponents. And, also too, like I've never lost a round. So, even though I've had 2 decision fights, like I've across all scorecards of the judges, I've never lost a round. So, I moved up pretty fast, but just as a dominant fighter. And I've always said, like, I want someone who's ranked. And the only people that really make sense on that top 5, is the champion. And then I was calling out Taylor for a while as well, too. But, Taylor, Britain Hart is really the only one that really makes sense for me right now. I just don't see it making sense between anyone else other than Britain and me right now in the strawweight division.
Yeah, and as a fan on the outside looking in, it's like there's not a lot left people to try to take out Britain Hart. So it looks like right now you're like I feel like you're in a position of where Christine Vicens was before she fought for Faria. Like she was to me like the only person left that might give her a run for the money. And then I realized, oh damn, she's not even.
I mean, she did good, but Christine is just.
She did great. I love Christine. I mean, she fights hard, but there's levels.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. She did good, but the queen of violence is the dominating queen. But you know what? That's how I feel like I'm at 115, and I want to prove that. I want to prove that against the best. And I love Britain, and yeah, she's done a clean sweep of the 115-pound division, and she's amazing. Like I love Britain. I don't mind starting a little bit of beef. I love the competitive banter. Like I'm a competitor. Like I love competing. And so I love the back and forth. And at the end of the day, though, like I love Britain. I've said it from the start. Like she's my favorite fighter. When I had my first fight for BKFC, the commentators asked me who I'm a fan of, and the only one that I could name was Britain Hart. I only knew Britain Hart and Christine Feria, and so I said Britain Hart, and I ended up meeting her that day. But goes full circle. A couple of years later, I'm set in line to fight her, and there's no other challenge that I want. I want the best challenge.
Do you think she's taking your call out seriously?
You know what? Yeah, I think she is. She's been in this long enough, and she can do her research. She knows that I've been fighting for longer than her. At the end of the day, like, we all do our research, whether you pretend like you do or you don't. So she's researching, but she knows I bring a lot of power. She knows I bring a lot of power, and she knows I got a good one too. And I'm sure she's working around that. I don't think she's underestimating me. I think she's going to come very prepared, and I hope that she does.
And do you believe that you would be the toughest matchup she's faced yet?
Absolutely. At the 115-pound division, I absolutely think that I'm the absolute toughest that she has faced at 115. And she's been the dominating queen for a long time, so she hasn't really faced a challenge in a couple of years. I think she's been getting a few freebies, but not to trash on any of her opponents, but she hasn't fought anyone like me yet. And so, yeah, I think that I'm going to shock the world, and I'm going to be the biggest challenge that she's had at the 115-pound division, without a doubt.
And she's long overdue to fight to defend that belt. It's been over a year, literally over a year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And as a fan, I'm of the mindset that you should at least fight once a year to defend your belt.
Absolutely. I think they were kicking some women off of the rankings because they had a baby, and at that 12-month mark, they were really quick to take them off the rankings. But that's the way it goes. I know there's lots behind the scenes, so I never like to complain. I like to make jokes and things like that. But at the end of the day, I know they're all doing their best to get women good fights, and BKFC is doing good at building the women's division as best that they can.
Now, what do you see in her game that maybe might make you feel confident that you could beat her?
Yeah, you know what? One pattern that I see with basically all of her fights are decisions. She is a decision fighter. And so, that's something that right off the bat, I know that she doesn't have power to finish or really even knock down people. So she throws at high volume. Yeah. I know those punches are coming. She's very good at working level. She's going to go body, body, head, head. She is good at footwork. She moves all around, so she is not a sitting target. But I've been fighting enough to know that power changes everything. And when you have power and accuracy, which I have, I've just been fighting long enough to know that game plans change when you're up against my power. And my power is very deceiving. And my cardio is good. I'm just like a little Energizer bunny, and I love it. And my mental game is good. So I think that I'm going to be the most solid all-around fighter that she's ever fought before. And I've been training my whole life for this. Like, I moved to the States to pursue fighting. And so this is not just a goal that I woke up with last year. This is something I've been working my way to seriously for the last 16 to 17 years. And so she has not met a mental and physical challenge like the one that I'm going to bring to her.
Yeah, and as a fan watching, when you get in the lower weight classes, there's a lot less power. So you're right. If you got power in those lower weight classes, even the guys, like a guy like Kai Stewart doesn't have a lot of power. He doesn't really knock guys out. When he knocks them down, they really kind of get up quick. Like, he just out technicians them and out boxes them and just out points them, really.
Yep. That's why it's fun having power at the little girl division, because I know it's unusual. I've been fighting at 115 for 15 plus years, and I've always had this power. I grew up playing tennis, so I think like that natural snap just comes in my power, but it's just like my powers are deadly. And, I don't want to get hit with my power, like they come hard and I'm very accurate with them. And so that's one of my strengths for sure. My 1-2 has always been my strength. I got a good jab, a long reach, and a lot of power. And eventually that power is going to connect, and it changes the mindset when you're in there.
What do you think your power is with, like, comparing you to somebody like Borga?
You know what? I've never thought to compare at those levels. I mean, I haven't really even seen Borga, except for her knockout punch.
Yeah.
But I think I look at Christine Feria as more of a power puncher. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really compare myself to other people. I just know that I got a lot of power when I crack people in the face. I mean, like I've knocked dozens of people, over a dozen people over. It's just something that I've done in consistently Muay Thai fights and MMA fights, kickboxing fights. Like I just knock people down, and it doesn't happen in the strawweight division. I just have unusual power for my weight class, and I got that long reach that's just annoying. Like, you got to come into me, and so I'm just an annoying fighter to fight.
So I saw a clip where you did an interview, and I think you were, I'm gonna try to phrase you correctly. I think you were saying that you feel like you were looked at as the least popular person in your weight class. And I also seen on like boxing records where like they had chicks ranked higher than you that were ranked lower than you in BKFC. Do you feel like you're being overlooked?
No, you know what? I think that there's a lot of opponents who fighting is all that they do. And I think I can rub people the wrong way when I come, fighting, really like longer than all of them. Like, I'm the OG. I've been in, martial arts for longer than a lot of these women. But, at the same time, I was building a career and having, making a family. I was doing a lot. So I have a lot going on. And I don't think people really understand how serious I'm taking this. I'm taking it, if not more seriously than anyone on the roster. And, I can rub people the wrong way because I'm very serious about this, but at the same time, like, I have fun. Like, I do competitive banter and I love this. So yeah, no, I'm pretty confident that I belong at #1 at the BKFC rankings. I know a lot of women who have come into BKFC and not done very well in BKFC, are sometimes ranked higher on, other rankings. But when it comes to BKFC, I'm the #1 contender. And, I belong in that spot. I've been dominating to get to that spot. And so, I don't mind rubbing people the wrong way. It's competitive. We're not playing ping pong. We're punching each other in the face. And so, once in a while I'll say like, I can beat up that person, and, that might rub someone the wrong way because, we were talking about punching people. But at the end of the day, like I look up to all women who are on this platform with me. It's, it's really amazing for all of us where we're at.
You said something interesting. You talk about having a family and people like thinking you're not all in. Because I remember when Christine Feria kind of came at Christine Vicin's the same way. Like, oh, you're a mom. You're cooking dinner for your husband. You think it's like a double standard kind of with the women? Like, guys got families too, but they don't be like, oh, they're not all in. But
yeah,
a woman got a family, they're like, oh, she's not all in.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think with my experience, I think women take some of the insults a little bit more personally. I noticed that the men can go kind of back and forth, and they're still friends at the end of the day. Whereas women will say, "I can beat you up," and the next one will come back and say, "Well, you're ugly," and it's just like, well, I can't fight with that now. It's just so yeah. Some women take things a little bit too personal when it's just fun back and forth banter. I don't think Christine means anything by that. There's certainly some women who are parents and they are just badasses, and I'm definitely going to show that. I think that parenthood and being a doctor, I think it's a more busy of a life, but the way that I'm able to compartmentalize it all makes me stronger than if I were just a fighter on its own. And so fighting is not my only identity, and that's what makes me so dangerous when I'm out there. People are going to start to learn more about me and see that. But I think being a doctor and being a mom really makes me stronger as a fighter. I've a lot more drive and, purpose and understanding with, what I want to do and what my purpose is.
So I'm going to put you on the spot with this question. I never really do these kind of questions, but this one, I like to look up all the info I can find on ChatGPT, and then I have it actually bring up some questions for me, and the ones I like, I'll pick and choose, and then I'll put the rest. But I saw this one that said, "Are you better than Britain Hart? Yes or no?"
Absolutely. Yes. Well, the most well-rounded fighter, I believe, is what I'm going to show that I am when I'm up against Britain.
And if she was watching right now, what message would you have for her?
You know what? I don't have anything negative. I want her to come in the best shape that she possibly can. I want her to have a good fight camp. I'm not sending any negative energy. I want the best challenge, and I'm excited. I'm excited for that challenge. Britain is the test that I want to pass, and that's what I'm studying for.
Now, has there been any talks with the company about this fight? Or have you had any talks with them about maybe your next fight?
Yeah, no, there's been lots of talks, lots of dates that were proposed. You know, for one reason or the other, it didn't work out. Events got canceled, but there is a date that is currently in the works, but contracts haven't been signed yet, but there's something in the works to be announced soon, I would imagine, but something is in the works.
Like with a fight like this, I'm guessing the fight promotion and the champion has to want this fight, correct?
Yeah, I would assume so. And I know Britain's been asking for this fight as well too, but I think you know, a big kind of delay has been that you know, neither of us are OnlyFans girls, and so we don't have just nationwide exposure wherever we go. And so they've been waiting for an event that's either, you know, a huge event that draws in people anyways, or it's close to one of our homes. So unfortunately, being the 5-time, you know, title champion, she doesn't, you know, she's not an OnlyFans girl, so she doesn't have the draw nationwide. And so unfortunately, 5-time champion doesn't just get to say, I want to fight here, let's do it. You know, so there's been behind the scenes stuff that not only Britain, not even Britain can pull the strings for. So, but that's okay. We'll change it. I'm going to be the first physician to have a world title. Mark my words on that. I'm going to be the first physician to have a world title.
So, I mean, let's say you don't get the title shot right away. Are you willing to just fight anybody else?
Absolutely.
Or are you just like locked in on her?
No, you know what? I've said that I want to fight anyone. If Britain wasn't ready, then I would fight anyone. I've always said that I want a ranked fighter. I want a ranked fighter. No, they've had me on hold since December, saying that you know, it's coming. The date is coming. So I've been in fight camp since December, since Britain and I had a little altercation to kind of pump up the fight and build interest around it. But yeah, I've been waiting for December for that fight date. So my training is all around Britain, and I know it's coming. Just waiting to you know, get a date locked down.
I mean, just looking at the rankings, like the only other fights that even make any sense would be probably like with the Natalie Gage.
Mm-hmm.
She's 2-0, number 3. And maybe Shelby Cannon. I don't know, but
yeah, that's
the thing. Fought Crystal, right?
Yeah, she wouldn't want a rematch. See, that's the thing too. All of Britain's opponents, they want rematches. None of my opponents are calling for rematches.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you know, a lot of the top 5 girls are really good, but at the end of the day, Britain needs a dance partner. And so you know, you know, Britain needs to fight someone. It's been over a year. She's got that title. I'm the biggest challenge. You know, Shelby, I think, is working her way up there. Yeah,
I mean, she just hit the rankings. She just hit the rankings.
Oh, is she? Okay. What
yeah,
is she?
They got her at 5 on BKFC's site.
That makes sense. I forget who was 5, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm over the mindset that they might need to, like, they just had a fight card where they had 2 women's fights in it. They probably need to start doing more of that. I mean, because y'all gotta wait a lot longer.
Yep.
For y'all's fights.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be cool if they do 2 women's fights at a time like that. But yeah, I always just make it known that I'm training, I'm ready, I'm as flexible as I can be. And I'm just waiting for the promotion to call me. I try not to complain. I try to be, you know, as easygoing as I can. I know how the fight world works. So, like, how do your friends and people like react when you tell them you're a bare knuckle fighter? You know, nobody's surprised anymore. Everyone, you know, I do the same thing all the time. So you know, everyone who knows me, they've known me for so long. I'm a creature of habit. You know, I just go to the gym all the time. I work all the time. I do the same thing all the time. So everyone who knows me, they just see me all the time and they know. But you know what? It's not something that I talk about. it's not something that I say just to say. So it's like the people who see me all the time at the gas station or at my Subway or Chipotle, they don't know that I'm a fighter. Of course, once in a while, people will be like, "Oh, like you're so fit. Are you a personal trainer?" And then once in a while, I'll kind of tell them, but it's just not the first thing that I say unless unless they start the conversation.
I saw something they were saying, do you gotta waive your Hippocratic oath before every fight?
No, because they're not my patient.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay. I heard somebody say that before the fight. I was like, is that a thing?
Yeah, I love all the doctor jokes. Anytime that I fight, when you read the comments,
Yeah.
it's all doctor jokes all the time. But yeah, no, you only do no harm to your patients. And anyone else is fair game.
I think Sean Whitlock said it, and I was like, yo, is that a thing? Does she gotta really waive her Hippocratic oath before she beats somebody up? So how does that work? You beat them up and then you fix them, you help them put them back together?
I've never had a patient reach out to me, but certainly I'm a good doctor. I love what I do. I would open up care to any fighters if ever they needed my assistance. And certainly I have had some fighters message me online, and I've given them the best advice that I can. I'm always happy to help with health questions or anything. That's a big passion of mine.
Before we let you go, is there any shout outs you might want to do, like any sponsors, anything?
No, you know what? I don't have any sponsors, but I always shout out to my gym Pro Edge Boxing in Phoenix, and my coach Santiago. And you know what? For as long as I've been fighting, I never really had a coach. I would always show up and have the teammates, kind of do the classes with me. But since I started BKFC, I've had a boxing coach from the start, and I just keep getting better every single fight. Like, you're going to see a new fighter each time. Yeah, so the person that I would want to thank is Santiago, my coach from my gym. And yeah, thank you to you. Thank you for taking the time. I think media goes underappreciated. You guys do a lot for the fighters.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I just this sport is actually starting to become my favorite sport. Good. It really, really is. It's really exciting. And like I was saying before you came on, it's crazy. They got 2 fights this weekend. They got one tomorrow, and they got one in Australia the day after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's busy. They're having
that's crazy. Like, I don't know a fight promotion that could do back-to-back fights like that. Yeah.
Yep.
But I appreciate you taking the time out. You're more than welcome to come back on, and hopefully you get that fight here soon, and I'll be, watching and seeing if you do.
Absolutely. I'll come back on after I get that fight announced. It'll be announced soon. So you reach out anytime that you want to re-talk.
All right, please do.
All right, cool. Nice talking to you.
All right, Doc.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Sarah, TNT, Shell. Sorry about my dog knocking over the light earlier. It's the second time she done did that. Yeah, man. I mean, when you're the number 1 ranked in a division, like, at some point you're gonna deserve a title shot. Bretton Hart hasn't fought in it's been literally over a year. Last time she fought was like April of last year, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a year. It's about time to defend the belt. She's went through everybody that she's fought. I mean, at first Bretton had a few losses at the beginning, but then she just been going on a long winning streak. I mean, the only person that's really beat her is, like, I think Beck Rollins once and Christine Faria twice. Ever since that, she's just been winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. So, I mean, there's not a lot of people really left to challenge her. Sarah TNT Shell is definitely one of them. Boom Boom Cannon is definitely coming up, and if Sarah fights and it doesn't go her way, I mean, I could see Boom Boom Cannon getting her shot next. But yeah, man, there's not a lot of people left. That's the thing. Christine Faria has done clean out her weight class. I mean, I don't see nobody beating her. She's probably gonna retire the champ. And if Bretton Hart gets through her next 2 fights, it could be the same for her, man. It could be the same for her. Like, she's just been beating everybody they put in front of her for a long time now. Yeah, man, you gotta respect the women of bare knuckle, man. You guys respect the fact women getting in there and bare knuckling it. Some of them are beautiful as hell, and they get in there and get their faces fucked up. They come out looking not too beautiful. So yeah, man. Shouts out to Sarah Shell. Appreciate her taking the time out. I don't have any more interviews coming up just yet. We'll be hitting up a few more people and setting up some interviews. I should be bringing Doug Coltrane back on as well here real soon after his win out there in Hawaii. Brought the win home for all of North Carolina. You got the wins today for BKFC Denver 88. Denver, Camozzi versus Rodriguez. I'm going to definitely tune into that in a few. And tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, is the fight card. Can't wait. I literally probably interviewed. Let's see how many people I interviewed on this fight card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've interviewed 5 of the guys on this fight card, which is Ruben Arroyo, Anthony Yost, Octavian Turner, Elvin Brito, Corey Willis, and I think that's it on this fight card. Yep. And Elvin Brito, this is gonna be a really interesting one too. Romero Figueroa, Elvin Brito. Really interested to see how that goes, because if Figueroa wins that, I mean, he's gonna go to 5-1, and he's gonna look like he's gonna be a force to reckon with in bare knuckle. He done beat Howard Davis, which I think was very shocking to a lot of people. I don't think most people expected Howard Davis to lose that fight. Yeah. Before I go, shouts out to Mama Reaver, one of my biggest fans. Always be tuning in and checking out my interviews as well. Appreciate everybody tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, we about to wrap it up. We got shouts out to OG Prestige, shouts out to Juan and Tony, appreciate you. Shouts out to True Raw as well. Make sure I get off here and clip up some of these clips. And we gotta be on the lookout, see if Sarah gets this fight with Bretton Hart. And like I said, Bretton Hart should be fighting here real soon. Real soon. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace, and I'm out.